mode.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our team Zoom. For those of you who haven't met me yet, my name is Harlequin Murray. I'm one of the team leaders here, and I have with me Miss Ellen Winn, who is our senior team leader. But for those of you who are joining us for the first time and haven't had a chance to get to know Ellen, just a little bit on her background. She grew up on a farm just outside of Atlanta, Georgia. She spent 25 years in the restaurant industry. And with that, she worked in the corporate office for Domino's Pizza, and she was a training director and senior operations director for the state of Georgia. But after working there for a while, back in '97, she decided to leave Domino's and start her own brand of restaurants. And ever since then, she's been a business owner. She currently owns a limousine company. But she was introduced to network marketing about 20 years ago, and she's built massive teams since then. And she's helped tens of thousands of people along the way. I met her about 17 years ago, and she was a national training director for a network marketing company and a partner in a huge training center here in Atlanta. And, you know, it's obvious that she loves training people with her background, but she is an area director in DAC and also a one-star executive in Longevity's comp plan. But without further ado, let me turn it over to Miss Ellen Winn, who happens to be sitting next to me tonight. We get to do the joint thing tonight. But anyways, without further ado, Miss Ellen Winn, take it away.
Thank you, Harlequin. Yeah, it's always fun when we're here. It's almost like we're announcers at a sporting event and we're sitting side by side. So good stuff. I appreciate that introduction, and I always appreciate your contribution to what you do for the team here, bringing your experience, helping moderate this Zoom, and with those that are in her organization. So welcome, welcome. Super excited you're here. If this is the first time you've joined us, we do this Zoom every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We've been doing it for a year and I guess it's about 14 months or so that we've done this Zoom every week without exception, other than a couple of holidays when we said we wouldn't be doing a Zoom. So good stuff. We got a lot of good things going on tonight, and I'm going to get us into screen share mode. Let me see if I can pull up that. Figure out how to do it on my Chromebook. I've not done this. Here we go. I've got my slides up. Back to Zoom. And we'll look at your computer and see when it pops up here. There we go. I love it. Love it when a plan comes together. All right. So I start out each week with team recognition, and our focus has been on building our organizations and building teams, because the distribution model that we have here at DAC is word of mouth marketing, and that is built by all of us sharing the opportunity, those of us that want to build an agency, sharing the opportunity with others. DAC does not do paid advertising. They don't do radio campaigns. They don't do print ads. They leave it all up to us doing our own marketing for our own business. That's where we're called business owners, right? We have the opportunity to market our business under the guidelines that they set forth. But a part of that is building distribution and building a network of independent agents. As an area AD, as Harlequin introduced me, I have thousands of agents in my organization. Now, only a small percentage of those are actually active and bringing clients to the table, but still those numbers continue to grow, and you never know when someone that has signed up a few years ago has come back and decided that they want to get re-engaged. I have those conversations on a weekly basis with people that life got in the way. Now they're back focused on DAC. So you never know when someone's going to plug in, or you never know when that person that you bring to the table as a new agent is going to introduce you to the next superstar in your organization. So I always say recruit, recruit, recruit. So let's get into the team recruiting and recognition here. Let's see if I can move the slides to the next slideshow. There we go. Okay, this is for the week of 5/12 through 5/18. We're always a few days behind here. In first place, we had Eric Johnson with 10 new enrolled agents for the week. In second place, we had a two-way tie between David Bryant and myself with 8 new agent recruits. In third place, we had Katina Willis with 4 new agent recruits. In fourth place, we had Raven Mark with 3 new agent recruits. And in fifth place, we had a 4-way tie with Eugene Clapp, Shannon Delaney, Sheldon Hill, and John Tycho with 2 new agent recruits each. So great job to those of you on the left side of the leaderboard. On the right side, with 1 new agent each, we had Juan Aguilar, Linda Artis, Landui Calvin, Kathy Chapman, Michael Edmondson, Peggy Evans, Julian Freelow, Julissa Garza, Richard Giraldez, Jesse Grady, Cheryl Henderson, Robert Ivory, Eddie Kirk, Lawrence Matthews, Kevin McIver, Joseph Meredith, Shamku Pearson, Pauline Roberts, Ursula Robinson, Samaj, J.C. Evans, Financial, Corinne Thompson, and Aliqua Washington. Each had 1 new agent recruit for the week. So congratulations to you guys making the leaderboard. If your name's not on the leaderboard and you're having conversations with others about our agent opportunity, or even if you're just focused on our program and our funding, it's just a matter of time before your name will be on the recruiting leaderboard as well. I have a new agent on here. Let's see, Eddie Kirk, who has recruited someone. Eddie found me through one of my Craigslist ads for funding. He was reading through and saw my funding ad, and at the bottom of that, I said B2B business partners wanted, and he reached out to me because he saw that in a funding post. So you never know, if you're just talking about funding, you still may find some agent recruits along the way. Okay, so good job to everyone there. Let's move on with what we're going to talk about tonight. Beginning June 1st, this came on today's announcement with David Rutz in our Monday Leadership Zoom. Beginning on June 1st, all of the DAC funding bonuses are going to get paid through our new online checking account / pay card through a new partnership with Relevate. If you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, if you're brand new, your new welcome letter coming from David Allen Capital should have a link for you to go over and sign up for that. If you've been around for a while and you've already earned commissions, we've been getting paid through direct deposit from DAC. They've been doing ACH direct deposits on all of our funding bonuses, right? That's going to stop by June 1st. So if you're earning commissions now, make sure you go sign up for the new checking account. If you haven't earned a commission, make sure you go sign up for the new checking account, because that's going to be the way moving forward to get paid. It's also going to be a product that we're going to be able to market to business owners. More to come on that with training and how the compensation will be working. But David wanted us to be a product of the product first and use that. So get enrolled. Now, I will say there's a caveat here. If you enrolled in DAC as a business entity, like I did, I enrolled through my personal name first. And then after being in the business for a few months, I decided to create an LLC just for my marketing business. So I switched from being under my name and my social security number over to being under a business entity with an LLC and an EIN. So however you're registered as a DAC agent, if you came in through your social, then you need to set up the account as an individual under your social security number. If you came in as a business, sometime this week, we're going to have a form on that enrollment page to set up the account where you'll be able to set up as a business with an EIN number. It is not there right now, so hold off on that. That is going to be announced when it is ready for us. These checking accounts are really meant for individuals. It was created for employers to use with employees to be able to pay them, to give payday advances and or pay any day advances. So they're adding that EIN function. So just hold tight. If you came in as a business entity, I'll send out an email and let you know when that goes live so that you can get enrolled. Okay, so that's going to be a really cool product for us to market, but also really cool with branding on a DAC Visa card when that goes live. David announced today, this is a really, really big deal that was announced today, and it's called the Summer Sizzle promotion. Right before I completed these slides, I looked to see if they had sent out an email on this yet. So if you weren't on today's Zoom, let's talk about this, okay? So beginning today through the end of June, if you recruit a new agent during these dates, you are forever engaged on that new agent for their first two fundings. What does forever engaged mean? Well, if they get their first two fundings in the first month or in the first year, or it takes them 5 years to get a total of two fundings, you're going to get paid on them as the enroller, and at that minimum of 25% on the engaged commission. And it's written in stone. You're going to be locked in as engaged, okay? Because we have an engaged qualification in the compensation plan that a lot of people are missing out on bonuses, but we want to make sure that you have the opportunity to go out and recruit big, go spread the word to everybody and recruit, and know that if you recruit them between now and the end of June, that you'll be locked in and get paid on their first two fundings, whether you're actually engaged according to the compensation plan or not. David shared today that there was an agent that had a renewal commission on $150,000 funding, and their enroller was not engaged. So their enroller is missing out on a huge bonus, several $1,000s that they could have earned if they were engaged according to the compensation plan requirements. So make sure that you're making a note of that and ready to start recruiting as of today, okay? And if you want to know how to do that, I've got a video in my Vimeo channel on using the
We can't hear you, Ellen.
on this, and
Yep, you
how we're
muted
getting paid
again.
on customer financing, etc. And want to point out the engaged portion of our compensation plan. So those of you that are new, or those of you that have been around a while and you remember engaged and amped, we've got these two terms, but it's a little confusing. Want to point you back to the tools that have it there in black and white or other colors, because it's a colorful document, right? So at the top of the Agent Resource Center, if you don't know how to get there, some people call this our back office. It's not really our back office. We do have a back office login where you can log in through Longevity, and through that Longevity back office login, where only you can get there with password and username and password. That is private information for your business, right? But this is the Agent Resource Center where all of our training is housed, or most of it is housed there, aside from the YouTube channel and their links and so on there. But to get to the Agent Resource Center, you go to davidallencapital.com, scroll down to the very bottom of the page. At the footer, we have a resources link, and in that resources section, it says Agent Resource Center. So you click on that link and it's going to take you to this page. Those top three trainings, video 1, 2, and 3 at the top of the page, are your must-watch videos, right? That is your Getting Started Right. Video 2 is product training. If you're new, please make sure you're paying attention to the welcome email that I send out, okay? This video 2 has some old information in it. We've just launched a new application sequence, and in my welcome email, I tell you to go watch about the first 15 minutes of video 2 there under the funding training, and then watch the new app launch video that I include in that email. So you'll want to kind of piece those two together to get the right information on funding. And then number 3 is our compensation videos. It's a 3-part series: personal commissions, the team overrides, which is where we talk about engaged and being amped up, and then the residual compensation plan, goes 1, 2, and 3. You can break those down in small bites, but the compensation chart is what I want to point you to tonight, and that is where the arrow is pointing. So you can click on that. It opens up as a PDF on your browser. You can print it out if you want, but mainly I want you to understand on page 3 of that document, in the top left-hand corner, for all of these bonuses and overrides for your matching bonuses on your personal fundings and team commissions and your matching bonus on enroller commissions, in the top left, it says you must be engaged to receive these bonuses. Okay, so page 2 of that document explains engaged, but I'm going to go through that again because I'm tying this all together because this new promotion is a really big deal to be able to get paid, guaranteed, paid as engaged on their first 2 fundings, no matter when that happens on any new agents you recruit between now and the end of June. Okay, so here's the deal. When you sponsor someone, or I'm sorry, when you get started with DAC, your first 60 days in the business, you're automatically considered engaged. And engaged means you're eligible for those matching bonuses, right? The second way to get engaged is for you to have a new or a renewal funding in the last 60 days. So engaged is a 60-day rolling window, or you can have 6 active customer finance clients, and that's what entitles you to get paid as engaged. Okay, engaged, you're going to get a 25% matching enroller bonus and a 50% enroller match on a fast start. A fast start is when someone gets a funding in their first 30 days, you can get double bonus on them on that fast start commission. The next part of this is amped up, and I really should have shown these in reverse, because when you get a funded client, it amps you up for 30 days. And then after 30 days, if you don't have a new client, then you roll into the engaged status of 60 days. But amped up means you're automatically engaged, but you're also eligible for double commissions. So you get double personal commissions, you get double matching bonuses on enrollers. So I personally enrolled Harlequin. When she gets a funded client, I get double commissions because I stay amped up. So whatever she makes, I am making a 50% match on what her income is. So I always hope that Harlequin is staying amped up, so she's making double commissions, because then I get double on her double, right? That's the beauty of the matching enroller bonuses. And then you have the double enroller matching fast start. So instead of the 50% that I just covered on being engaged, you actually get 100% match on their first funding. All right. And again, to get amped up first 30 days on a new client, that starts that 30-day rolling window and carries over for 60 days to be engaged. Okay. All right. So that's really all I had on the slideshow tonight. I wanted to make sure we hit on some of these topics that David covered today. Another thing on engaged, and that is David announced that once you hit the rank of AD, area director, which is really the first leadership position in our company, because you can get to DAC 1, DAC 2, and DAC 4 on your own production. You don't have to have a team to get to those levels. That's on you gathering your own clients. But to get to AD and beyond, you have to have a team, and you have to have team structure. You have to have at least 4 legs that are generating funded clients on a regular basis every month to keep that status of area director and above. But once you get there, David realizes that a lot of time it becomes more about the team than going out and getting your own personal clients. So he just announced today that once you get to area director and beyond, that you'll be automatically engaged and not miss out on those team overrides. That's a really big deal. I know personally there are some months when I've got so much going on with the limousine company that Harlequin said I own, DAC overrides, because I'm so busy every single day between my two businesses, but I'm busy juggling questions and answering questions for you guys, the team, whether it's email or responding to text messages or doing phone calls. So once you get into that leadership role and you've got a really big team growing, it can be a busy thing. So David recognizes that and wanted to reward you. So that gives you an incentive to really work hard to get to area director. And then you know that you're engaged and you'll be eligible for those commissions, whether you have the personal client or not. Of course, having personal clients is what's going to put you in that double bonus as amped up, and you always want to work towards that. But if you ever fall out of that or take a vacation or take a trip around the world, you can take some time off and not worry about missing out on getting paid on your team. Let me take us off of screen share here. All right, and let's see, I covered that, the summer sizzle. David mentioned mail out postcards are coming, looking really forward to that. He'll have more on that. He didn't have a minimum dollar amount today on the call. So those of you that had questions, I really want to hit on a couple of things and then we'll go to questions. One, this coming Friday, we've got our Agent of the Month interview from Colleen. She's new. I don't know who she is. Harlequin doesn't know who she is. And David Rutz has not even talked to her. On this coming Friday at 11:30 on our DAC Zoom. The last thing before questions is, if you were on the Zoom earlier today and weren't there all the way to the end, David was talking about how Wade Cordell, our senior funding director and owner of Bank Breezy brand, that is all of our funding products, our postcards, our drop cards are really the best marketing tool that he has. But the bottom line, these three clients were warm market people. They're people that Wade has a relationship with, knows them in some form or fashion, or they came through a referral from someone that knows Wade is in the funding business. So as I've said many times, if you're going to do this, get focused on it and dive in deep, and don't let distractions get in your way of building your DAC business. But the point is to go back to what I teach.
You're freezing up. We're going to use my microphone. I can't hear you.
Okay. Let me mute that. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Okay, great. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Eugene. Saw that thumbs up. The point on this is that if you're not talking to your warm market and letting them know that you're in the funding space here with DAC, you're missing a huge opportunity because that's where Wade got those clients. And David looks at numbers. He's a numbers guy all along. He says that we're already on track to have another record month, and we've got another 7 or 8 days left in this month, and we've almost broken the record thus far. But he said if he looks at the numbers with all of our online marketers versus Wade and those people that are doing warm market, the warm market volume, the dollar amount that is getting funded through those contacts is much greater than the total sum of all the online marketers and people that are running ads and pay-per-click and all of that. So warm market is really where the bigger funding dollars are going to be. And that is also what sets us apart from the companies that are spending billions of dollars on advertising, because that's what they're doing. They're spending money on advertising. They're running the pay-per-click and they're sending out the postcards and they're doing all of those things. That the one thing that sets us apart from them is that we have a DAC agent in their local community, in that business owner's local community, that can help them face-to-face, have conversations, get questions answered, get them in touch with a team leader that knows the right answers, or get them in touch with customer support. Whereas All these big companies, there's no name and no face to connect to that funding agent versus us being local. So that's the unique piece there for that. Okay, Harlequin, do we have any questions in the chat here, or do you have anything that you want to add?
No, we don't have any questions in the chat. However, I am going to point out that on Monday, we don't have the leadership, but David is going to be talking about new ways that we can be engaged or amped up.
Yeah, that's
So
coming.
it's going to be a recording.
Yeah, because Monday's the holiday, Memorial
Yep.
Day, right? So we want to get in on this Friday Zoom. It'll be the last Zoom of the month, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah, although he said he'll do a recorded one on
Mhm.
Monday and he'll have a special Zoom on Tuesday answering questions about the new way to calculate commissions.
Okay, awesome. I'm looking forward to that. So excited about some of the enhancements that are coming along. And David said today, he said, look, over the next few weeks, he said, I just expect new release, new updates, new release, new update. So we're moving really fast. You want to stay plugged in. If you can't be there live, make sure you subscribe to dacyoutube.com and catch those videos on the replay. Be on the lookout for my emails because I try to send out updates and everything as they're coming our way. So stay plugged into what we have. Are there any questions in the chat there, Harlequin?
Nope.
No questions in the chat. Okay. All right. So we'll do a Q&A here. I'm on a kind of a timeline tonight, so I don't want to go into lengthy Q&A, but if you've got questions, feel free to raise your hand through the raise hand at the bottom of your screen there, and we'll take your questions or comments.
Okay,
Anybody?
we got Janet.
Okay. Can you unmute her?
She is.
I can't see her on here. Hey, Janet, how are you doing tonight?
Good. I just wanted to say, over the weekend, I was
You're
trying to
muted.
apply for the new
No, I
card.
think it's your computer is muted. Okay, go ahead, Janet.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, her computer was muted, so we have to use my sound.
I thought that's what we were doing.
That's weird. Okay, whatever.
Go ahead.
So over the weekend, I was trying to apply for the new card on my computer, and I kept getting an error. And I finally tried it on my phone, and it worked through my phone. So if anybody's having a problem, do it on your phone versus your computer.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't know
Good
if it was
comment
a
there.
cookie
And
thing
for
or-
those of you, if you're having difficulty, I ran into a question when I was going in. I was looking before they announced that they were waiting to add the EIN number. I went on in, or I jumped ahead of David saying that. I went on in and started it, and I ended up calling their 800 number, and I found them to be very responsive. So if you're having an issue, there's an 800 number there on your screen. Call them and they will answer any questions that you have. But thanks for sharing that, Janet. All right. Any other questions there?
Yep. John Wiederholt.
Okay, John, you're unmuted. How are you doing tonight?
She's not unmuted. Nope. I'll do the unmuting. It's easier for me.
Yeah, that's what I can't tell on my Chromebook. That's interesting. I've not done a Zoom from here.
Okay. John, you can go ahead and unmute yourself. There you go.
Can you hear me now? I was in my car. I had to pull over quick. Can you stay amped up with gig funding?
That's going to be announced. David has not announced that, and that's probably one of the things he's going to announce on Monday when he does that recording. He's going to be talking about new ways to stay amped up. But with that, you got to remember the gig funding is only a once a month report and once a month commission. So there will be a way to be amped up from what he said earlier, but it's going to be a higher volume because those are really small fundings. But he'll announce all that with the new enhancements that are coming out. So good question.
Okay, good. And then real quick, when I go to my own site on my mobile phone, I cannot see or if I said someone else there, I can't see my number on their screen. Does anybody else have that? So I'm not sometimes for certain.
Are you understanding his question, Harley?
Yeah, he wants to know the phone number for Relevate.
Oh, I don't see my information. I don't know, not that. No, I mean, when I go to the DAC page, I don't see my referred by or my phone number like I do on a PC. Does anybody else have that issue?
Okay, you're breaking up, John. I
Yes.
think you're asking about, are you looking at, you're talking about looking at your David Allen Capital site and you're not seeing your name as referred by at the top of the site? Is that what you're talking about?
Only on mobile PC.
Right. On mobile devices, your name and information is not going to show up at the top of the page when you're looking at your David Allen Capital site. The reason being, there's limited space, limited viewing space on a smaller mobile device screen. So we opted to not include that information at the top of the screen because it pushed the page down and the page doesn't really look nice in mobile view when you have all of that information at the top of the page. But you can see if you click on apply now or get funded, whatever page you're on, click on the tab that takes you over to the application. Your name should be embedded in that application if you have the link properly set up with your ID in it.
Okay, good. That was really the concern I had. I didn't know if that was something that was wrong. Otherwise, that's all I have. Thank you.
All right, very good. Thanks for the question.
Okay, Eric Brooks.
Hey Harlequin. Hey Ellen, how are you doing?
Hey, Eric, good. How are you doing tonight?
Pretty good, not bad. I had a quick question. I had a potential client, because I couldn't answer a question for them. And they were looking on the website, and because I told them to go to the website to get any preliminary information and then come back to me with any questions they had. And the actual client asked me what determines them getting the one, because it says, they can get 1 to 2 times their revenue amount. And how do we distinguish how they get 1 to 2 times? Like, is there a threshold that a certain dollar amount they have to make per month for them to get 2 times, or
Well,
like, how is that actually done?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's only going to be somebody that hits that 15,000 and up for the bigger funding with the in-house Bank Breezy team. But once they hit that qualification, it's that financial equation that the underwriters are going to look at. They're going to look at the average daily balance, how much revenue they're doing as a whole, what the owner's FICO score is, how many deposits they're doing on a monthly basis, whether they're bouncing checks. They're just looking at that business and how much of a financial risk they are. And that's going to be what determines whether they fit in that. It could be as low as 75% of their revenue, but all the way up to 200%. So it's all that financial underwriting equation that the lender puts together to determine what the financial risk is on that particular client.
Okay, so it's not a particular dollar amount that they make per month. Like,
Nope, it is
Well-
not.
Question.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, go ahead, Harley.
Yeah, if you go on to the Agent Resource Center and look at the quick reference sheet, it shows you, because if it's a giggle client that's doing 3,000 to 5,000 a month and meets the other qualifications for that, it's going to be 20 to 25% of their monthly revenue. If they're a Biddy Advance client doing 5,000 to 15,000, it's going to be 75%. And then if they're over the 15,000, then it's the 1 to 2 times the revenue.
But it also
Well, yeah,
can go as low as 75% of the revenue. So
Well, yeah, they're way
that-
over 15. They're way over
Yeah.
15,000. They're making about 30 to 40,000 a month. So
right. But back to your question, there is no specific dollar amount that they can bring in that's going to qualify them for 200% of their revenue. It's the financial equation. The minimum is 15,000, right? Which is
Yeah.
on that reference sheet that Harlequin pointed you to. That's the minimum for them to qualify for that up to 2 times their revenue. But the rest of it, I mean, they could be doing $500,000 a month. But if their financial package makes them high risk, They could only qualify for 75% of that, or could qualify for up to $1 million, right? So it's all the financial underwriting that's going to take place that'll dictate how much they qualify for.
Okay, gotcha.
Mhm.
All right, okay, I'll just tell them that's basically, you know, under their financial portfolio when they get their offer, like from the underwriting department. I don't have any
Yeah,
control
yeah.
over
Just I always tell them, you know, here's the range, but it really is going to be dictated by the underwriting team when they look at your financial file. So,
that. Okay, all right, that's
Yep.
cool. Thank you very
good
much.
question. Thank you, Eric. Anybody else, Harlequin? I
Yeah,
can't see any of this other than, other than the
Deirdre
camera.
Corley, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Good evening.
Yep.
Hey, Deidre.
How are you?
Good, good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I have a couple of questions. Number one, okay, when I joined DAC, I joined under my personal name. But since then, I do have an LLC. So I want to change, my DAC into the LLC. So I need you to tell me the process for that. And also, I know we're supposed to sign up for, was it Relevy?
Relevate.
Yes. So if I sign up now, I would have to sign up under my name. So what would be the process of changing it into my company's name?
Okay, so that's a two-part question, as you stated. So do you already have your LLC established, Deidre?
Yes, it's brand new. Actually, I got it established in March of this year.
Okay, so you've got your documents, you've got your EIN number and all of that. All you need to do is send an email to support@davidallencapital.com with your agent ID number and say, I would like to change my business from my personal name to my LLC. Here's the name. And then attach your supporting documentation that shows your EIN number and your articles of incorporation from your state. Just include that in the email. They'll switch it over through a partnership with Longevity. They'll send it over to them. And then I would do that first. And then once you have sent that and they're showing that they'll change it over, then get that account established. So by June 1st, that's where those commissions are going to come in. So if you don't earn a commission by June 1st, or it's after June 1st, then you'll be okay on that timeline. So you got a little bit of time to work with, but it's real simple process to get that switched over. That's exactly what I did when I got started.
Okay, all right. And one more question.
Okay.
I had a client who has a, what is that, nonprofit. And they wanted to get funding, but I told them I had to find out about whether you do nonprofits or not, because someone had told me that it depends on what it is.
Right. Well, the general rule of thumb for nonprofits is if they are making more than 50%, 51% of their income is coming in through a non-gift or non-tithing type scenario, right? If it's a church, they've got a bookstore or something that's generating income outside of what is being donated by the congregation. So that would be true in any of the nonprofits. At least half of their income has to be generated in some form other than just through tithing and gifts.
Oh, okay, so yeah, but she did say that they receive grants, so I'll let her know.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for the question.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions there?
Yes. Let's see, James Wellington, otherwise known as Cameraman Jay. If you want to unmute yourself.
Hello, DAC, right? Well, I have a website with MCA, Motor Club of America. If I join DAC, how this gonna help me bring in clients?
If you join DAC, how is it going to help you bring in clients? Is that what your question is? Did I
Yes.
understand that correctly? Well, as an agent with
Yes.
DAC, are you already funding? Is that what I understand? You have a business funding with somebody else?
No, right now I do Motor Club is really roadside assistance. We
Oh,
have people
Motor
with the
Club of
traffic rental
America,
cars.
MCA. Okay,
Yeah.
there's an acronym in the funding space, MCA, which is a merchant cash advance. So I thought that's what you were referring to. So yeah, I'm familiar with Motor Club of
No.
America. Okay, so DAC is one of the largest funding platforms in North America. So if you already have clients through the Motor Club of America, a large percentage of people are either a business owner, a gig worker. 1 out of every 3 households, someone is doing a side gig for extra income. And it's just a huge opportunity to get it out. If they're not in business for themselves, they know someone who is. So DAC is, I think, the best funding platform in North America. Harlequin, do you have anything to comment on that?
Yeah, well, like she said, if you have existing clients already, it's just something that you can add on because we have the funding. We also have payment processing, customer financing. You know, if somebody's car broke down, if they've got, you know, the auto repair shops that you know through that network, they can offer customer financing. You know, so we have a lot of different things to offer. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of money to be made.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you for your question. Hopefully that that answered what you were looking for there. Any other questions? We're getting close to the end of my timeline here.
I think that was all of them.
Okay. And I did see one question in the chat, and I think that was Jay as well.
It
saying
was.
clients can be funded if they join. Okay. So let me touch on that real quick because that's a good question. So if someone comes into DAC and then says, hey, I'm a business owner, I want to get funded, our general rule is that they cannot get funded if they're a new agent, not through themselves. They can get funded, but they need to go through their enrollers link to get the funding. And we did that as a protection so that business owners that are out here, they get introduced to David Allen Capital, they realize there's funding there, but then they stumble upon that agent opportunity and go, oh, well, I'll just sign up under myself and then get the funding through myself and get a commission back on my own funding. So we did that as a protection for the agents that would be responsible for that introduction, right? To protect you and your income. The general rule of thumb is 6-month window. Now, there is an exception. If you bring in someone who's a friend of yours and they're a business owner, and after they get started, they go, well, hey, I could really use some money for my business. If you give permission and let David know that you're okay with them getting funded through themselves rather than through you, he will make that exception. But the general rule of thumb is 6 months before they could get funded through themselves. All right. Anything else there?
But he also was asking about, do I need a new EIN number? And if it's a different type of business,
I don't know. You'd have to talk
Yeah.
to your attorney or your accountant on whoever helped you set that up to determine whether that one EIN number would be appropriate for DAC. Essentially, the MCA business, the Motor Club of America, you're a marketer. You're an online marketer for them, right? You're not actually providing the service. Same thing here with DAC. You are a marketer for DAC. So my LLC, I run, I've got 2 different businesses that I run through that LLC. Both of them are direct selling opportunities. Y'all have heard me say before that I'm an independent agent with Legal Shield. I've been with them since 2010. They're under my prime choice partners. So is DAC. I set up the LLC with the state as my business is a marketing business, and both of those are appropriate for what I'm doing. So you just have to see how your business is set up with your state to see if it would be appropriate or not. Okay. All right, guys, I don't see any other questions there. Harlequin, do you, before we wrap up, because I've really got to get out of here. Okay. Thank you so much for hosting me in your office again.
Yeah.
This is always good.
Yeah, and James, he's asking, I will need some help with this. Who is it that introduced you to DAC?
Me? Who introduced Ellen?
No, James.
I think it was Ellen. I got a link, her link.
Okay. Then
And
you
I
can reach out
signed
to
up.
Ellen.
Oh, okay.
On what? On a longer question?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
He
Yeah,
just
just
needs some help.
yeah, just reach out to me, Jay. Send me an email at workwithellen@gmail.com and I'll connect with you. And if it wasn't me that you enrolled through, I'll connect you with whoever your enroller was. But I've got that whole database, okay? And I'll be happy to help you
Okay.
offline, one-on-one. Okay.
All right.
All right. Good deal. Thank
right,
you very
thank you.
much. Welcome. Glad you're here.
Mhm.
All right,
All right.
everybody. We're going to wrap up. Thanks so much for being here. Look forward to the interview on Friday, Agent of the Month interview. I'll get this recording out once it has rendered tonight. And make sure you're sharing it with your team. Always be a good promoter. I promote to you guys, those of you that are here and showing up, you can look to see who on your team is not here. And those are the people that you need to be actively reaching out to say, hey, we were on the Zoom. Did you hear this? And keep spreading the word, because that's how the message is going to travel, through word of mouth. All right, everybody, have a great evening. We'll see you on the next Zoom. Take care.